The colony ship Perseverance had crashed on Dragon 7 3 years ago, scattering its human survivors across a world where dragons ruled the skies and ancient keeps dotted the mountains. Jasper had been among the lucky ones if luck could be measured in survival alone. He'd found shelter in a cave system near the Crimson Peaks, teaching himself to hunt the six-legged deer and avoid the territorial claims of the dragon clans. He'd also learned to avoid their daughters. The Drakari were a proud species, humanoid in form but scaled, winged and touched by fire. They viewed the stranded humans with a mixture of curiosity and pity. Their females, it turned out, found human males fascinating, exotic creatures from beyond the stars who possessed neither flame nor flight, yet somehow survived. Jasper had rejected them all. First came Sir, a golden-scaled warrior who'd offered him a place in her clan's holdings. Then Vexith, whose emerald wings had shimmered as she'd presented him with a freshly killed mountain cat as tribute. Even young Talisa, barely past her first molt, had shyly suggested a bonding ceremony that would grant him full Drakari citizenship. To each, Jasper had said no. The other human survivors thought him mad. You'd have protection, argued Marcus at one of their monthly gatherings. A roof over your head, status. The Drakari take care of their bondmates. But Jasper had seen the look in their eyes, the same look he'd seen in the eyes of the corporate recruiters back on Earth. The military conscriptors, the colony administrators, they wanted to collect him, to add him to their inventory of possessions. Human male, exotic specimen, functional and compliant. He wanted none of it. Winter came to the Crimson Peaks with brutal efficiency. Jasper's cave became a tomb of ice, his fire barely enough to stave off the cold that crept through stone. His food stores dwindled. The six-legged deer migrated to lower elevations, and Jasper knew he couldn't follow Nut without crossing clan territories. Not without owing debts he refused to pay. He was preparing to die free. When she arrived, Dany was not like the other Her scales were obsidian black, shot through with veins of silver that caught the dim light. Her wings were tattered at the edges, scarred from old battles. She landed outside his cave without ceremony, her amber eyes studying him with an intelligence that felt uncomfortably penetrating. You are the human who says no, she stated. Not a question. I am, Jasper replied, his hand near his makeshift spear. Not that it would do any good against a dragon, but habits died hard. My name is Dany. I am widow to Thormax the Brave, slain in the War of Broken Skies. I have no clan, no holdings, no status to offer you. She folded her wings against her back. But I have a proposition. Jasper waited. Propositions usually came with strings. The winter will kill you, Dany continued, her breath misting in the frozen air. You know this. I know this. The other Drakari know this, and they circle like carrion birds, waiting for your desperation to make you accept their terms. So you're here to do the same? Jasper asked bitterly. Dany's laugh was like rocks tumbling down a mountain, rough and unexpectedly genuine. No, human, I am here to ask you a question that no other Drakari female would lower herself to ask. She met his eyes directly. Do you want a wife, or just shelter? The question hung in the frozen air between them. Jasper had heard many offers in 3 years, promises of luxury, of status, of pleasure and purpose. But no one had asked him what he actually wanted. No one had separated the transaction from the terms. What's the difference? He asked carefully. A wife is a bond, Dany said. It comes with expectations, obligations, traditions. You would be mine, and I would be yours, in the way of my people. There would be duties and ceremonies and the judgment of clans. She tilted her head. Shelter is simpler. I have a keep in the Shadowfang range, small, remote, forgotten. There is room for 2. We could survive the winter together. Nothing more, nothing less. When spring comes, you may leave or stay as you choose. Why? Jasper asked. Why offer this to me? Dany's expression shifted, something ancient and weary crossing her features. Because I, too, have said no to many things. Because I know what it is to have others decide your value based on their needs rather than your nature. Because, she paused, because you are the first person in 3 years who looked at me and didn't see Thormax's widow or Dany the clanless. You saw a dragon, and I, in turn, see a human who would rather die free than live owned. Jasper studied her truly, looked at her for the first time. The scarred wings told stories of battles fought on her own terms. The silver in her scales spoke of years lived without compromise. The directness of her gaze promised no hidden contracts, no fine print written in smoke. Just shelter, he said finally. For now. Dany inclined her head, a gesture of respect between equals. Then gather what you can carry. The flight to Shadowfang will be long, but my wings are still strong. As Jasper packed his meager belongings, he felt something unfamiliar. Hope. Not the desperate hope of a dying man, but the cautious hope of someone who'd found an unexpected ally. Danny waited at the cave entrance, silhouetted against the winter sky. When he approached, she extended her clawed hand not to claim, but to offer. "One more thing," she said as he took it. "If you ever decide you want more than shelter, I will ask you properly, as an equal, with no desperation, no winter at your back, no survival forcing your hand." Jasper smiled, the first genuine smile in 3 years. "And I'll give you an honest answer." They lifted into the winter sky together, two outcasts against the storm, choosing alliance over ownership, partnership over possession. The other, Drakari, would talk, Jasper knew. They would speculate and gossip about the human and the widow in the Shadowfang range. But for the first time since the Perseverance had fallen from the stars, Jasper didn't care what others thought. He had shelter, and perhaps, one day, he might want more, but that would be his choice to make.